Hi guys, and welcome back to the London Nurse. I thought my first video could be all about my career journey to date. I have been qualified for 8 years, so hopefully it won't be that long of a video. So I went to university to complete my advanced diploma in nursing studies, brackets child, up in Newcastle. So I attended Northumbria University. Very good university, I might add, for nursing studies. If you are wanting to kind of look at different nursing universities, then I can do a video on that later. So after completing my advanced diploma, I got a job at the hospital I'm now working in London. I originally chose this hospital because they did a rotation throughout various parts of the hospital, different specialities. And I thought it'd be really exciting, really a different kind of start to my career. Obviously, I'd gone through with my 3-year degree, having various different placements in different clinical and non-clinical environments. So I thought it would be good to start my career off as I was used to and not landing myself straight into a speciality that I possibly might have struggled in. So I came to London in 2012, and those of you that will know, the London Olympics happened at that point. It was such an amazing year to come and live in London, considering I'd been up in Newcastle, and before then I'd kind of lived in various different parts of Wales and South England. London has always been one of those cities for me that's like, wow, like such a vibrant, exciting, busy city. And my God, I was totally not ready for the hype that was the London 2012 Olympics. So really great year to start my career. So I completed my 18-month rotation throughout the hospital, covering 3 ward areas. So I started in an orthopaedic ward that specialised in paediatric orthopaedics with spinal surgery, and a bit of kind of general peds as well thrown in. So that was really quite comforting because the hospital is a specialist hospital. So you don't really get to see a lot of the general kind of side to nursing. And again, considering I'd spent my 3 years up in Newcastle, I trained in the RVI, which is now called the Great North Children's Hospital, I believe. Really great experience there, loved the hospital, and actually it was the year I started, 2009, was when they moved into that new building. I remember my first placement, I helped my mentors move from one old ward into the brand new ward area. So that was really good to see how nurses kind of worked with transition, challenge, change, the rest of it, which sparked a lot of interest, which I'll come on to in later videos, around my dealings with change and kind of managing that quite scary and daunting aspect as a clinician. So obviously, having spent 3 years in the northeast of England, spending a little bit of time on a familiar sort of ward to start my career off was really quite comforting. I then spent 6 months, the next 6 months, in oncology, so paediatric cancer, so children's cancer, haematology and oncology. And then I transitioned to my last area for the last 6 months, so I was a year qualified at this point. And I went into theatre recovery, specifically post-anaesthetics and pre-anaesthetic for children's MRIs, CT scans, all those sorts of things. At the end of those 6 months, I then was given the opportunity to select a ward area that had a vacancy at the time for me to go back and continue my career in the hospital. So I chose the oncology ward that I came from my second placement. So I went back. So I completed my foundations in oncology, I completed all the speciality aspect of being an oncology nurse, and I really started to find cancer and the treatments fascinating. So I could have easily and really wanted to become a senior nurse with oncology, but I decided that when the band 6, so the senior job, the senior nurse, came up on the ward I was in, after about a year, another job came up at which I was headhunted for. So The first job within education then appeared, which was the undergraduate practice facilitator. So you're basically somebody dedicated to students within the hospital to go and support them in practice and help them with any issues that they might have. Now, that was a role that I absolutely really wanted to take on, mainly because of the experiences that I'd had as a student within my hospital up in Newcastle. So it's a band 6 job, so I graduate as a band 5, and this was a band 6 job, so it was already that first step on the ladder. So I was in that job for just over 2 years, and it still is one of the best experiences that I've ever had in my clinical career to date. Because I'd had so much experience with student nurses in the hospital, a secondment came up within our department to become a band 7 for half of my week. So it's 0.5 band 7 job, and it was to design and set up the simulation services within the hospital to incorporate student nurses. So I was tasked with finding a method around ensuring that we could have undergraduate nurses and undergraduate medics be involved within the same simulation. So that was a really exciting job, which then gave me a lot of experience at that band 7 role within undergraduate training. So then after a year, my pre-registration manager at the time went off for a different job. So I went for that job. And again, I absolutely loved it. So I was in that job for just over a year, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about management. It taught me a lot about people skills, networking, problem solving, tons and tons of stuff. So then while I was in that role, there was a big senior shift at that point. So we had a new associate director came in for education and mixed things up a bit. Took the opportunity to really kind of juggle how things were working in the department and really wanted to make her mark. So I was then approached to see if I wanted to give a band 8A job a shot. And my initial reaction was, no, I don't want to be any more senior than I am. I love to be in a band 7. And I definitely think band 7s within the NHS, if you're passionate about your role, you can give so much and you can make such a difference. So I was really happy in that space, delivering on projects, being innovative with my team, really shaping that education for undergraduate nurses within the organisation. So I was really happy. But they planted that seed. So I decided to apply and I got it. The interview was hard, as you would expect, but I love interviews, and that's another video I'll do. It's about how you prepare for an interview and what sort of mindset I go into when I'm preparing for an interview, and when I'm actually sat at that table in that room having an interview, what's going through my mind. So I aced my interview and I was given a job, and that was back in January last year. So it's been a year and a half, and it's been the biggest roller coaster of my career to date. And I've not stopped on that roller coaster yet, it's still going. I've just had my secondment extended for a further year and a bit to like October next year. And we shall see what comes up. So I will also make another video regarding the education that underpins each section of my career to date. So the education aspect of my career is really important. I'm currently studying for my Masters, which I'm hoping to complete next year. So I will absolutely make a video on that. But if there's any part of my career that you are interested in or you'd like to know more about, then just leave a little comment down below. Pick out the bit that you found interesting, and I will happily either chat to you or make another video regarding that aspect of my career. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think, Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed my first video, and I will be doing videos once a week. I've got a long list of ideas. The ideas keep coming. My boyfriend and I were sat down last night having dinner and we were going through some other ideas, so I will definitely get going with videos. But if there is anything specific that you want to hear about, then do let me know and I'm more than happy to do videos. So thank you, and I hope to hear from you soon.